Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to our summer socials. My name is Marc O'Connor and I'm the Programme Director for Fashion Communications over at the Business School. Welcome. Today I've got something really fun lined up for you. It's a fashion quiz, so no Google, no phones. You can put those down and do the old traditional pen and paper. It's a pub quiz. It's designed for you to learn some stuff if you don't know already and have a bit of fun. So if you can get a pen and piece of paper, as I say, we're going to start in a couple of seconds. So our Summer Socials Fashion Communication Quiz, first one of the year. Let's get going with Who's Looking at You? Round one. So this is where I present you with six famous celebrities in the world of fashion, communication, and maybe music, and you tell me who they are. So there are six to come. Here's the first. Who's this? Question two. Who's this young lady? Question three. Who's this? Piercing green eyes, look quite eyes quite close together. Little clue here: the world of communications. And who's this? Who wears dark eye mascara and has bleached blonde hair in the world of fashion, communication, and music? Or music. So that's question four. Question five. An elderly gentleman who has eyes like this. That's great. Let's have a recap. Question one. Question two. Question three. Question four. And question five. Quite straightforward. Nice easy round to get going. So let's move on to our multiple choice round. This is where I'm going to give you possible three answers to the questions, and you simply either use the A, B, or C, or you can write down the actual answer. That's fine. And yeah, so that's question 7. What is the name of Marc Jacobs' dog? It's an English Bull Terrier. Is it Neville? Is it Barry? Or is it Lola? Is it Neville Jacobs, Barry Jacobs, or Lola Jacobs? Funny that, having a surname after a dog, but most people do that, don't they? That's question 7. Question 8. What fashionable country club at a park in New York gave its name to a type of evening dress for men? Is it A, a cummerbund, a dicky bow, B, or C, a tuxedo? Question 9. What famous fragrance at Christmas advertises its advertising campaign features two sailors arm wrestling? Is it La Mail, La Haine, or La Chateau? And a bonus question, guys, if you could tell me who that fashion designer is. Who's the designer that created the Christmas fragrance featuring two sailors arm wrestling? And what was it called? La Mail, La Haine, or La Chateau? Question 10. An anorak is a long hooded jacket or skin or cloth. From what language does the word anorak come? Is it A, Dutch, B, Mongolian, or C, is it Eskimo? Question 11. What colour sari does an Indian bride traditionally wear? Is it gold, red or green? A, B or C? Question 12. Which Mary was the British dress and fashion designer who revolutionised the world of clothes, jewellery, cosmetics and fashion in the 1960s? Was it Mary Catranzu, Mary McCartney or Mary Quant? That takes us on to round 3, which is our trivia round. This is our big round, so it has quite a lot of questions in. So this is where I don't give you the 3 possible answers. They're just the questions, and then you have to find the answer or come up with the answer. Question 13. What is Coco Chanel's real first name? That's question 13. Question 14. Red-soled shoes are the signature of what fashion designer, or which fashion designer has those iconic token red-soled shoes, normally high-heeled stilettos worn by women? So what red-soled shoes are signature of which fashion designer? Typically stilettos, but it does actually make men's shoes as well. So which red-soled shoes are the signature of which fashion designer? Question 14. Question 15. Which brand uses this iconic pattern on their handbags? I think they do scarves as well. But what brand is this? Question 16. Which fashion street brand uses this logo? Told you some of them would be quite hard. Question 17. Name the designer and what brand he designs for. What brand is he currently the creative director for? That's the young man in the middle of the picture, if anyone was trying to find out who he is. I'll give you a clue. He's been designing for this brand since 2011. Which brand and what is the name of the designer? Question 18. What does DKNY stand for? New York brand. What does DKNY stand for? Bit of a clue in what I just said there, actually. That's question 18. Question 19. What fashion designer was shot and killed in Miami, Florida in 1997? What fashion designer was shot and killed in Miami, Florida in 1997? A little clue, there was a program out last year. I think trying to think who David Schwimmer I think played was one of the actors in it. Yeah, it was out on the TV. I think it was on BBC One. Which famous fashion designer was shot and killed in Miami, Florida in 1997? Question 19. Question 20. The Met Gala theme this year was postponed indefinitely because of the pandemic. What was the theme? What was the Met Gala theme this year before it was postponed? That's question 20. Question 21. In the 1990s, which supermodel famously fell over on the catwalk while wearing a pair of Vivienne Westwood shoes? I think I went to this show. In the 1990s, which supermodel famously fell over in the catwalk while wearing a pair of Vivienne Westwood shoes? They were very high. Can remember that. That was question 21. Question 22. Images of one half of two high fashion French branded logos. Well, what are they? If you had a small compact mirror, you could put it up against one of them, and each one of them, and you would see the logo in full. What is the logo that's been halved here? So that's 2 points. One for the one on the left and one for the one on the right. Question 23. The Kelly bag was named after which Hollywood actress? Question 24. Which famous fashion designer directed this stylish film? It's a great film. So stylish. I mean, the suits and the dresses in it are amazing, and the way that cinematography is great. So, which famous fashion designer directed this stylish film? The attention to detail is beautiful. Question 25. Now, this is quite a tricky one. There are 7 fonts used in this magazine title. Can you name the magazines? A point for each one. I've put the numbers underneath them to give you an idea of which ones break them up. So number 1 is FA, number 2 is S, number 3 is H, number 4 is I, 5 O, 6 N, and then 7 is that little symbol that's seen on a fashion magazine. A point for each. So you got that? I'll leave you a bit more time. It's quite a tricky one to work out all those fonts and which ones they used on each magazine. I'll give you a clue. I think most, but bar one, is in circulation still. One is certainly. Actually, they're all in circulation. One has been relaunched this year, but kind of had been sort of away, had been kind of resurrected. Had been gone for about 20 years and it's just come back this year. Question 26. Fashion retailer H&M was founded in which European country? Fashion retailer H&M was founded in which European country? 27. Question 27. Which street in London is famous for traditional men's bespoke tailoring? If anyone has seen the Sewing Bee on TV, Patrick Grant, who's a judge on it or is part of the program, has a practice on this street. As did Alexander McQueen. He did his training there as well, so he learned how to cut fashion and to pattern cut and to sew in this famous street in London. Question 28. Who designed Kate Middleton's wedding dress? Anyone can remember? Lace dress, beautiful dress designed by a very famous British designer. There's the clue. Who was that designer? I was working on a national newspaper at the time and I had to do quite a bit of coverage on it because it was an iconic designer who's not known for wedding dresses, and quite a distinctive choice for a royal to pick. Quite a sort of a risky choice for a royal to choose this designer, but but nevertheless, it paid off in the end. Who designed Kate Middleton's wedding dress? Question 29. What is the name of the Vivienne Westwood icon or logo? That's the one up on the right hand side. And can you name the brand that inspired it below, the one in red? So the one in red was their original logo, and Vivienne Westwood used it. I remember at the time there was quite a lot of hot water over this, and copyright issues and registered trademarks and things, but eventually she got to use it, and it's now become an iconic logo in her branding. But if you can name what it's called and the brands that inspired it beforehand, many years before. That's question 29. Now on to social media. Name these 3 social media influencers, a point for each. Who are they? Question 31. Name this fashion capital city. Catwalk city, capital city. So a clue would be there are 4 big cities where fashion is currently the capitals that all the big players and brands show at. Which one is this? That's question 31. Question 32. So I've pixelated some of these designers. Can you name them? Point for each. Name the pixelated designers. Question 33. What fashion magazine is based in Hanover Square, London? What fashion magazine headquarters is based in Hanover Square, London? And that should be question 34. Sorry. Name these heritage brands famed for their house checks. It's a point for each. So, very famous British brands use these checks as their scarves, umbrellas, entry point hats, caps, you name it. So it's a house check. Question 35. Sorry, this is 35, not 34. What are these 4 subcultures, fashion subcultures called? So 4 to get. A point for each. And that is the end of the quiz. So that's it, really, folks. So if you could jot those down onto a piece of pen and paper, I'm going to shortly follow with the answers to all those 35 questions, and hopefully you would have got some of them, got a large majority, hopefully. But if you want me to, I'll go through them quickly again, just for reference. Round 1. Who is this? Question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Round 2, the multiple choice question. Question 7 was the Marc Jacobs dog. Is it A, B or C? Question 8 is about the country club in New York and what the evening dress was named after. Is it A, B or C? Question 9 is about the famous Christmas fragrance advertising campaign that comes on every year. What's it called and who's the designer? Question 10 is the anorak. What's the long jacket, skin or cloth? What language does it come from? Is it A, B or C? Question 11 is the sari. Sari does an Indian bride traditionally wear? Gold, red or green? Question 12 is which Mary revolutionised the world of the 1960s in fashion? Was it Mary Catranzu, Mary Cartney or Mary Quant? And then we're on to trivia. So question 13, what's Coco Chanel's real name? First name. Question 14 was the red sole shoes and the signature of what fashion designer? And question 15, who uses this iconic pattern on their handbags, scarves and accessories? Question 16 was the fashion logo. Who uses this brand as their logo? And question 17, can you name this designer and the brand that he currently designs for? What does DKNY stand for? That's question 18. Question 19 is what fashion designer was shot and killed in Miami, Florida in 1997? Question 20 was about the Met Gala. It was postponed this year because of the corona pandemic, but what was the theme? Every year they have a theme. What was this year's? Question 21 was about the supermodel that fell over at the catwalk at Vivienne Westwood wearing a pair of shoes, Vivienne Westwood shoes. What was her name? Question 22 is a mirrored image. So one half is missing. What are the two brands? Point for each. Question 23. The Kelly bag, famous Kelly bag, was named after which Hollywood actress? Question 24. Fashion designer directed this stylish film, A Single Man, but what was his name? Question 25, probably the trickiest one. Seven letters across 7 publications, but what are their 6 publications? Sorry, but what are their titles? Fashion retailer H&M was founded in which European country? That's 26. 27 was the bespoke tailoring, which is the hub of which street in London? 28 was about the wedding dress, Kate Middleton's wedding dress, who designed it? And then 29 was looking at the Vivienne Westwood icon and logo, what's it called and which brand below inspired it? Question number 30 was about influencers and social media. Name these influencers. 31 was about the fashion capital city. Which city is this? Let me know your geography there. Fashion 32. Question 32 is about the designer page. Who are these designers that I've pixelated out for you? Point for each. And question 33, which fashion magazine headquarters is based at this Hanover Square, London? Question 34, as it says 33 up there, 34. Which heritage brand was famed for these house checks? 3 points to get there. And question 35, last question. What are these 4 subcultures called or named? And there's a point for each from there too. Okay, so that's it. So down with your question pens and pick up your marking pens. We're going to go on to the answers now. Yeah. Answers to the questions. So as I said before, pick your red marking pen up and or swap papers with your partner, and let's see how many you got right. So question 1, who was this? That's New York fashion designer Marc Jacobs. Question 2, who is this? R&B singer famous for her collaboration with brands, makeup range. Yes, that's Rihanna, Beijing singer Rihanna. Question 3, who is this? This is a owner of Facebook, communications guru Mark Zuckerberg. Question 4, who is this? She is the creative director for Italian powerhouse French Milan brand, fashion Italian brand Donatella Versace. That is Donatella Versace. And lastly, question 5, who is this? Those deep sunk eyes again. Who is this? Red carpet, I mentioned. Does a lot of red carpet and Golden Globes dresses, Met Galas, ball. Who is this? This is Italian designer Valentino. Moving on to round 2, multiple choice. Question 7. I asked you, what is the name of Marc Jacobs' dog, English Bull Terrier? The answer is A, Neville. Question 8. Which fashionable country club at a park in New York gave its name to an evening dress for men? That would be C, Tuxedo, named after the Tuxedo Royale. Number 9, question 9. Which famous Christmas fragrance advertising campaign features 2 sailors arm wrestling? I also asked you what the name of the fashion designer was. The answer is A, Le Mail, and the French fashion designer is Jean-Paul Gaultier. Question 10. An anorak is a long hooded jacket of a skin or cloth. From what language does the word anorak come from? That would be C, Eskimo. Question 11. What colour sari does an Indian bride traditionally wear? Is it A, gold, B, red, or C, green? The answer is B, red. Which Mary, this question was about the Marys. Which Mary was British designer of the 60s who revolutionised the world's jewellery, cosmetics and fashions of the 60s? That was Mary Quant. C, Mary Quant. That brings us on to our large round, which is round 3, all about fashion trivia. What is Coco Chanel's real first name? Now, most of us know her only as Coco Chanel, but she did actually have a Christian name, and that was Gabriella. Red-soled shoes are a signature of which famous fashion designer? That would be Christian Louboutin. Which brand, question 15, which brand uses this iconic bag on their accessories, including handbags? That would be Goyard, Paris. Question 16, which fashion street brand logo is this? So anyone that's ever been to Dover Street Market may have seen this. It's a really cool brand by designer Virgil Abloh. That is Off-White. Excuse me. Question 17, name this designer and what brand does he currently design for and is the creative director for? So the designer is Oliver Roosting, and he is the French fashion designer at Balmain since 2011. What does DKNY stand for? That would be Donna Karan, New York. Question 19. Which fashion designer was shot and killed in Miami, Florida in 1997? That would be Gianni Versace. Gianni Versace. So the Met Gala theme this year, as it was postponed indefinitely because of the corona pandemic, but what was that theme called? It was called About Time, Fashion and Duration. About Time, Fashion and Duration. Question 21. In the 1990s, which supermodel famously fell over on the catwalk while wearing a pair of Vivienne Westwood shoes? That would be Naomi Campbell. 22 was a mirror image of a logo. So does anyone get this? On the left, those famous C's would be Chanel. And on the right, the famous G's and upside down G's would form a square of Givenchy. Givenchy. The Kelly bag was named after which Hollywood actress? Question 23. That would be the Princess of Monaco, Grace Kelly. Grace Kelly. Question 24. Which famous fashion designer directed this stylish film, Single Man? That would be Tom Ford. Tom Ford. Question 25. There are 7 fonts used in the magazine titles. Can you name them? So the first one, the iconic FA, was a 1990s, early 2000 magazine called The Face. The S is a freebie that's given away on the tube. That is Stylist magazine. Number 3 is Hero, which is a famous menswear, high-end menswear magazine. Number 4 is ID. Number 5 is part of Vogue, of what makes up Vogue. And then number 6 is Tank magazine. And then 7 is that famous asterisk at the end of Wallpaper. Wallpaper. So how many did you get right there? Number 26, fashion retailer H&M was founded in which European country? That was Sweden. What street in London is famous for traditional men's bespoke tailoring? I mentioned McQueen cut his teeth there, and Patrick Grant, who's on the sewing bee. That is Savile Row. Savile Row. Who designed Kate Middleton's wedding dress? Question 28. That was Sarah Burton for Alexander McQueen. Question 29. What is the name of the Vivienne Westwood logo or icon? That was called the Orb. And can you name the brand that inspired it below? Yes, that was Harris Tweed. Famous Scottish tweed and tartan brand. Harris Tweed. Can you name these influencers, social media influencers, and what were they famous for? So I only asked you to name them actually, so if you could name them. On the left to right is Saffron Barker, famous for cosmetics, lifestyle and beauty. She is currently number 5 on the Sunday Times rich list for social media. Felix Kjellberg, I think I said that right, as PewDiePie. It's a gaming website that he currently runs. He's the number 1 social media. And of course, Joe Sugg, who was on Strictly Come Dancing, is number 6, who runs a YouTube channel called Thatcher Joe. So there are 3 influencers, a point for each. Can you name this fashion capital city? I asked. So was it Milan, Paris, New York, or London? The answer is Paris. Question 33. I pixelated some of the designers from left to right, but can you name them? On the left, top left is Ralph Lauren. Top right is Alexander McQueen. Bottom left is Karl Lagerfeld, and bottom right is Tommy Hilfiger. Which fashion magazine, question 34, is headquartered in Hanover Square, London? That would be Vogue. Question 33, quite a tricky one. One of them is quite easy, I think, but the other two are a little bit difficult to get. Name these heritage brands, British heritage brands that are famed for these house checks. Number one, you'll find down Regent Street. It's an old brand that is a British quintessential old brand that designed for our military. That is Aquascutum. Number two is, of course, everybody kind of knows this check. It's worldwide now. It's known as the Burberry check. Burberry. And then number three, another iconic British brand, is Dax. Dax, D-A-K-S, Dax. Question 35, sorry. What are these four subcultures called? So we have on the left, it is goth, and then in the pink, it's haruka, Japanese subculture, and then it's punk, and then lastly, a 1990s fashion subculture called buffalo. So that concludes our quiz for today. So, hope that was enjoyable. Hope you got, hope that was fun, and you got some insight there and some questions that you didn't know, or you found that engaging somewhat. If you would like to leave some feedback on our summer socials, or you would like to tune in next month when I do another one, then that would be great. All right, thank you. Take care. Bye.